Modern life plantation, planetary devastation, real alien invasion, and we plugged to the matrix. Frequencies of radiation, hijacked imagination. Tell me what we conversating if we ain't talking activation. Really ain't no time for waiting, second guessing, contemplating. First I gave you prophecy, this is my philosophy. Something far from Socrates. Yeah, I'm chasing sovereignty, but I was born a sovereign being. Lived 100 centuries, booted off a sensu bean. Really ain't no sense in me. They try to steal my history. Rose above the misery so I can guide my young supremes. And I hit the keys with them, and our knees will never bend. False gods and serpent skins, never fail, they never win. Focus on your dividends, this'll make the devil dance. Probably break it from a trance so you compete with deep within. Yeah. Meditation, elevation, inner self-realization, mental wealth for innovation, spiritually been segregated, diamond hits for activation, seen some things now I'm awakened, sleepyheads been sleep for ages, neophytes inside the matrix, live the switch, I'm on the trip, ascension starts with proper basics, pranayama, breath of fire, manifest my life's desire, sheep was false on life's acquire, hidden truth for life's retire, third eye open, vibratory frequencies, all the selves, the demons be a part of you, a part of me, please pardon me, for vulgar speech, the higher self is where I reach. Back to back, my brother's keeper. Unity's my brother's teacher. Earth, wind, fire, soul. Activate like dynamo. Heaven's gate, kick down the door. This the devil's rodeo. Been here, seen some lights before. I'm searching for the hidden scrolls. I lost inside the physical. Geometry's the visual. Spread my wings like pigeon stools. Solving no decision rules. Inside you find the proper tools.
Yeah. You know what it is. That's Meta featuring Sunny Nice. You know Meta's coming in powerful 2026. Everybody's coming out swinging. This is the time. I want to give thanks to everyone for having the opportunity to join the space. Like, these are the times. Tonight, it is a very powerful lineup. Like, we're doing the unity. I got the Power Brothers in the house with me, Red Pillar, Radiohead, Rich. And, you know, we're coming in here candidly, really to speak a very powerful message, to incite urgency, and to really bring everyone into the awareness that this is the time to move. Now, you know, I'll say this one thing and we're just going to start loading the brothers in. And it's just that in every time, like in every culture, there is always some type of script talking about a flood. Flood's coming. Then there's always somebody there trying to explain it to everybody. Yo, it's about to happen. This is what you need to do. This is how you build the ark. I can absolutely 100% tell you that is happening now. And the beings that are here to explain that to you are people that you know how to relate to, just like in the times where things were going on before. They say, I sent a warner to let you understand what's happening and let you understand how to move, because still ultimately it's up to you to do these things. And I also wanted to mention who is responsible for pulling their family up. I wanted to ask that question. Who's responsible for doing that in your household? Is that you? Because if it's you, then you definitely have to be front and center for this. If it could be you, I want you to listen very closely this evening to seeing if you're getting a transmission about creating value, getting your uniqueness together, getting your intellectual property together. Now, this is not a monologue today, so I'm going to roll in the heavy duties. I got Red Pillar in here. I got Radiohead, Rich. We're going to, like I said, go through some heavy duty tonight. We have some ancestors to honor. We have to come in front and center and line up. And that's what we're going to do. So, culture shock. That's the title of the show. Like, I asked Radiohead, he's like, yo, you got an idea for what the show title should be? He said, I just got a show. Like, I've got to run the engine to give. I said, okay, I got it. Let me try. Soon as I hung up, someone was like, culture shock.
Fire.
And I'm like,
fire.
Well, hold on. Is that even what culture shock means? Let me go to my dictionary real quick, make sure I got the right definition on what a culture shock is. So I just want to make sure we're clear on the title because a lot of folks say, yo, this clickbait. Culture shock is the stress and disorientation people feel when they enter a new culture and everyday cues, language, humor, routines, manners, value don't work the way they expect. Meaning that I was raised a certain way, and my mom was like, yo, my mom was like, I just give thanks to the mothers and how much real work they put in. Like, even back in the days, the mothers would even have to kill the animals to get the dinner prepared and when the husband's coming home. You see what I mean? So it's like there's a powerful force that is with us. And in every single way, we got to stand in for that force today. And we need to make sure that we're understanding how to prepare ourselves for what's happening and how to shield our mentality, our family, our legacy from this very, very strange, very, very foreign culture that has now permeated into the reality in this time, and we know it's going to continue to increase. So I'm gonna let the brothers, formally introduce themselves just from an energetic level, and get dialed into today, while I also just get the switchboards going, make sure everything is live and hot. Wholeness, brothers. Good day.
Peace, my brother.
Peace. Peace.
Oh man, I'm hearing an echo. Do y'all hear that, or is that me? Or check?
It's going.
We may just want to make sure there's no YouTubes or nothing on, and other than that, it should be good.
Yeah, I think the echo's going.
Right, check. Yeah, I don't hear no more. All right, yeah. Let me start it off. I want to first thank Sevan Bomar for having me on his channel, and it's an absolutely beautiful channel I've been watching for many years. I think you have an absolutely beautiful audience, so I want to give a shout out to the audience. Some of the people watch both our channels. Some of them don't, so I want to give a shout out to all of y'all. I think the work you're doing in this realm is magnificent. I think you're a genius, and it's an honor to not only be on the channel, but to be putting together a workshop with yourself as well as Red Pillar. Energetically, I want to introduce, being that this is my first time introducing myself to your channel. I go by the name Radiohead Rich, and what's interesting is I recently took on that name. I feel as though we all evolve spiritually, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and where I'm at spiritually right now. If you know my channel, Black Magic 363, what's interesting also is the same day of the show, I recently just changed the name of my channel to 363 Empire, and I officially did it today. So my channel is no longer Black Magic 363. My channel is now 363 Empire. So if you go to my channel and you're like, wait a minute, where's Black Magic? It will say 363 Empire instead of Black Magic. And it's just more representative of where I'm at energetically right now. There was nothing wrong. I've experienced the utmost success. I mean, the highest of the highs as Black Magic 363 and as being called Black Magic, but just where I'm at now and what I'm getting ready to do and what I'm getting ready to accomplish in the world. The biggest spell you could do is what you call yourself. So when I'm calling myself is Radiohead Rich, and my channel is the 363 Empire, and I'm glad to be on my journey, my new journey. And I know everybody in everybody's individual lives is approaching a new journey. All our journeys is different. So may God, Creator, Prime Source bless you in each one of your journeys, and it's getting exciting in this realm.
Fantastic. I love that.
I
Your
wanna-
2026 is the year the new things happening, right?
Yeah, indeed.
So,
Yeah.
man,
New beginning.
let's go.
Yeah.
And it's right after your born day.
Right after.
Shout out to
Right
all
after.
of the Virgos. So
Right after.
I want to salute you on your endeavor, Father Rich. You know what I mean,
Mhm.
aka Radiohead. I'm there. This is the Scorpion Virgo connection.
Mhm.
We work off of each other's energy and each other's inspiration, our inspo. So for your rebranding and for your pivot, you already know that I'm locked in, 10 toes down. You know what I mean? I'm moving stock and arm with you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your brother Red Pillar, aka Rich Phil, aka Schoolie Red, aka Fly Sinet, you know what I'm talking about? And aka Napoleon Pill. That's my new one
Oh
right
my
there.
God.
Napoleon
Wow.
Pill.
Instead of Napoleon Hill,
Napoleon
Napoleon.
Pill. As we move
Wow.
forward
That's a good
into
one.
this, yeah,
That's a good one. That
into
is
this
a good
wealth
one.
manifestation portal, it's Napoleon
Wow.
Pill. I live on
Wow.
the hill. Yeah, $100 bills on linoleum still. Wait, hold on.
Wow. That's a good one.
Like
All
little
right.
petroleum spills are dripping like petroleum. Well, listen, man. I'm so honored to be here. What a time to be aligned.
Mm, mm.
The ancestors and the pantheon of the master teachers who are very active in the quantum realm. They are smiling right now. This alignment is the equivalent for all of my techies out there. This is the equivalent of 3 LLMs connecting to one another. You know what I'm talking about? We are all intelligent machines. We manifest with our word and with our intention, you know, and with our persistence. We both are nodes. All three of us are nodes, master nodes that are connected to other nodes around the globe, that are connected to other nodes in places unknown and unseen. So yeah, man, I'm just happy to be here. And shout out to Blue Pillar, shout out to KT the Arch Degree, Mama Pill, and the whole KT aliens, all of the family at KTL.
We even had to have a moment of silence for all that greatness. I want to really just segue into what we came here to also make sure that everyone is super aware of. And that's one, we already won just
Facts.
from that level. We've unified, and unification is the only other level beyond this one. And the more we come together, the more powerful we're going to continue to get. And we're also not in talking mode only.
We're
Like we're
doers.
actually manifesting our goals, our ideas at the speed of how fast they're coming almost. Put a almost there because knowledge comes fast.
Because we presently are present, right? We are presently present in a time in which the tools are available for us to do whatever we want to do. Like if you are considered to be a doer in this world, then you understand that everything that you really was praying for has arrived. And Amazon, it wasn't by Amazon either, you know, but what we prayed for, the tools that we needed to initiate the building process of our multi-generational 1,000 year play, those tools are here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's an etiquette.
Yeah.
There's a mindset that goes with this. And this is why, on this side and, on all the sides of the powerful channels that are even on YouTube, just dropping the wisdom, it's almost 20 years. Like if you look at these channels and all the beings that it's connected to, we're stepping into that 2 decades of transmissions. And that's been prepping you for this point that we're at right now. Like this is what the audience really needs to understand is that there's a mindset to this. The title was moving into 2026 as a boss. Now there's the boss that they talk about a lot of, like, yo, be the boss. But then there's also the true etiquette that it takes to take command over your life and to step forward and also make the decisions that you need to make because you're aware of things that are going to happen that others may not be taking serious enough.
Right.
And
because you have the intel.
Exactly.
Because you have the data. And because you could actually trick prediction models, because you might have more data than a prediction model.
Always.
So if the data is the true oil, if the data has been proven to be the true gold of this quote unquote inside of this industry or this niche or this dimension that we're all participating in, which will be like this would be considered, if this real world is the 2D, well then the internet and cyberspace is the 3D, right? So What about those 20 years of data? What's the value on that? Can I get a receipt on that? What is all of the data that we've all espoused in 20 years? What does that add up to?
Exactly.
What if we were to crunch the datas of the Bobby Hemmets and the Phil Valentines and whatnot, and we could literally pinpoint when they were predicting the future? And if we could put a value proposition, if we could tokenize that and add a value to that, right? For being a soothsayer, for telling the future, for being able to project into the future, there's actually a value proposition to that.
Let's show that in real time,
Okay.
because I want to make sure, it's crystal clear to everybody exactly what we're talking about when we're saying the value of uniqueness, the value of originality, the value of actually understanding something that others may not,
Right.
and being able to be models are working on a predictive level. Let me put this on the screen real quick. They're working on a predictive level. Everything is about being able to determine what move is going to be made next. That's how LLM works. What is the probability of what the next sentence should be, so I can output that? What is the probability of the next code? Can we rank that semantically? So that's done. And then it starts spitting out the response. Those responses have value. Now the new money is a token. It's still a form of currency. So when they say now, with shekels, rubles, dollars, now it's tokens. Everything is running on this tokenization hash power. The crypto move was not just a move from just the people, it was a move from the whole system in general. Like, okay, we move into the next stage because electricity and hash power and GPUs are the real currency. Those are going to be the new generators, because they're going to be the ones that get paid for the work. And so what I'm showing you on the screen is the drop that just happened a couple days ago, where it's called Protocol X402. And this is the tokenization for autonomous agents pushed forth by Coinbase, which basically now gives autonomous agents a protocol to actually transact or pay other agents. And this is all just going on in the background for anything that is needed. And the the example was given was they were scanning for background. The autonomous agent was needing to run a background check on somebody, went to all the other autonomous agents that provide background checks, found the one that was going to be able to qualify for what it needed and the it score and all that for the approval, then sent the token or some of the money for the computational power that device or agent is going to need to do to bring back that information, and then paid that out. And so when we're thinking about intellectual property now, which we call uniqueness, and we can kind of segue back in here for a minute, intellectual property is going to be the true money here. Just like right now, Google or YouTube just released that they paid $100 billion to their creators last year. Okay. The Hollywood industry only pushes out $27 billion in that same period of time. And on top of that, when the movie, that's talking about the budget for everybody, the movie and everything, that's not what the actor gets paid. Right. So right now we're seeing if you take your intellectual property now and begin to create your aesthetic, you begin to take your uniqueness and actually put it into something that you control. That control, because you're going to be the first one in the system, is going to be the money. And here's what you should absolutely know: AI ain't even here yet.
It ain't even here.
Compared to what AI is already in the background showing that it can do, and that it hasn't been implemented at all in every space of the reality. Just like when we got cars, they started implementing that, and them engines in every engine was in everything after a while. So that hasn't even happened yet.
Look,
so
YouTube just made the announcement this week, Sevan, that Google VO3 is coming directly to the shorts. They unveiled 15 AI tools coming straight to YouTube. So this whole entire platform is going to completely change. I remember watching Leor or Liar Cohen on the Breakfast Club, and they asked him what was the future of YouTube. He said generative AI. Being able to generate images. And so he saw VO3, he saw Nano Banana before we saw it. You feel me? And that's the tools that are coming. So that adds to two things: either AI slop a
Hmm.
proliferation of brain rot, a proliferation of mindless memes and videos that people DM me that have no monetary value. They have no intellectual property to them. They're just brain rot. Or the opposite can happen, and we'll begin to generate AI videos that will begin to teach us, they will begin
Yes,
to uplift us, they will begin to motivate us, and they could add to the signal and not the noise.
exactly. Let's say you were writing the book or you were making the movie. Will we come out of that feeling more dumb? Would our children come out of that with
Right.
bad ideas and even more, even some weird embedded stuff that we may not even consider is going on? Or do they come out like ready to create? So this is also why this whole thing is real deal, because for me and everything that I see right now, it's the conduit of what really heads off a rather nasty situation that's already happening at the past. Like before we even got on this line today, I was talking with Bill about our elders, and he was also explaining to me how one of his elders was, in their state of potential transition, and how there was so much that he still needed to gain from all of that wisdom and knowledge on this side. The most fruitious way when we can actually be with the masters and the teachers themselves. But there's so much, and we've all but in this reality abandoned them or leaving them in a space where they're trying to even figure out how their future is going to look. So we started talking about even solutions around, hey, the question directly was, and you can pose the question to yourself, is it time to start really telling folks from a direct level, hey, you may need to really start figuring out how to move beyond the United States and get ready to get into the world, get into the ocean of life, go be what they call now a digital nomad and get your ground on somewhere else,
Mhm.
right? Because we also question that in a certain way, because we know that there's many who are, you taking care of grandma, you got all this going on. And so, these kind of ideas may even make you feel more like, oh man, but there's somebody around you. And this is what I started the conversation with, is remember that each member of the family is designed to do something. Like I saw a sister comment on the chat on the Instagram that we sent about the upcoming AI workshop, and she tagged somebody in there and say, I want you to do, she said, I want you to do this. She said, I want you to do this. Do you want to do this? And she was talking about, do you want to make these cinematic type of ads, since every single thing that people are dealing with right now starts with a picture?
Right.
Like nobody's reading anymore. Like they need pictures, sound effect, immersion, even to get your point across. And so the other bigger thing becomes sometimes, why are you doing this? And in many ways, like for me personally, I'm doing this because I was designed to help the beloved continuously until I tarnish. You see what I mean? That drives me. That's my fuel. And that's why I'm saying you got to be built like a boss in that way. Like you got to have that higher level of awareness to, oh, I need to come online now. Like, Bill, what do you have just in relation to that of activating that, okay, it's serious time versus tomorrow it kind of bakes off again, like, a crazy dream. You may be shook that day. Like I've had some dreams where I'll be like shook for a couple
Right.
hours, then it start wearing off.
Right. Well, Spirit is telling me that, that the time is kind of upon us to make the decision if we want to begin to venture forth outside of the borders of America right now, because there may be a possibility of the restrictions of travel being levied upon certain individuals in the near future. We are in a precipice right now where we could literally take the tools that are available to us at the very moment and become what is known as digital nomads and begin to move around the planet to explore the planet, to explore our vision quest, our spirit quest, because some of us have spiritual quests that we need to be going on. The planet is waking up right now. Nature is waking up right now. We are becoming victims of what is known as hyper reality, and we are becoming victims of what is known as the simulation. So similar to what Mr. Anderson had to do to break out of the matrix to become Neo, is what the average person may need to do right now to break out of this quote unquote this is becoming more of the simulation, more of a hyper realistic place, more of the quote unquote simulacra and the simulation by the day. So it's becoming more like people are becoming so people are beginning to see Donald J. Trump to begin to mimic the character Biff in Back to the Future more by the day. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? People are beginning to see reality mimic they live more by the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
People are actually beginning to see the movie or the TV series V. They revisiting the TV series V. I was talking to A. Rashid, and he said he revisited the series V about the aliens back from the 80s, the original one. And he said that when you put it on top, when you juxtapose it on top of culture today, right? The art of juxtaposition, right? The art of juxtaposition. But if you did not live, if you did not exist, and if you did not experience that time period or that timeline, you are somewhat handicapped as to the point of reference as to what it is that you may be experiencing, may be seeing, or may be able to incorporate. Because keep in mind, the true God is the observer. The true God is not somebody that's emoting on the internet and feeding the looch to Zuckerberg and to Musk and all of them. You're feeding your Musk, you know what I mean? Your Egyptian Musk, your looch, your energy, your aura to Elon Musk when you get caught up in the traps that the algorithm is setting, that the quote unquote the traps of this, how to drain your energy from you. So instead of being reactionary, I would say that it would benefit those of us who do not want to participate in the hamster wheel of the simulation and may want to remove themselves, maybe even Trump administration or the collapse of the DEI system broke you out of an invisible prison or something, a comfort zone that you might not have realized that they had you in, an invisible hamster wheel, and they're allowing you to hit the road with your severance and build empire, touch grass, go climb mountain, go do everything that is real, because everything that you was doing up until this period is not real. It is not authentic. It is not you being in your higher self. It is not purpose driven. It is not purpose filled. You were a part of the capitalistic rat race. You were a battery, a cog. That is not what
Wow.
Neo became. That was Mr. Anderson. Now, when you take the red pill and you become Neo, you are now digital nomad. You are now a black Satoshi, a person who listened and heard in '08 and '09. They read the smart paper. They heard Morpheus talk. They heard Satoshi Nakamoto speaking to them, and they racked up 10,000 bitcoins, 50,000 bitcoins, 100,000 bitcoins. There are people who look like me in the world right now. I speak to them. I can't give their names away because y'all will tie them up. But there are people who made they have 100,000, 500,000, and they're observing. So when you made moves in the past to prepare you for the future, maybe even 5 generations ahead, you have the what? You have the patience to observe. You're not rushed. You got 50,000 bitcoins. You're just watching the world fall apart. You're watching the old system collapse. You're watching Trump liquidate, and you're watching them lay all type of traps and psyops and whatnot. You're watching Palantir go online and them saying, "Yo, we just launched Skynet," and then you're watching them lay out the Captain Kirk trap. So it's definitely time to explore. They've been calling for us around the world. They've been asking for us. The proof of work that's going to get you in Burkina Faso, Kenya, and other places is going to be your crypto wallet and your blockchain and your proof of work of what you did against what you think is your master. But when you leave outside the borders of this, you'll realize that everybody is scheming at the gates of this castle that you think is safe, and it's not.
Exactly. It's been overvalued. It's been hypnotizing everybody inside of it.
Propaganda.
And now, I mean, and we also got to remember that all of this happens for a reason. Like, it was a run in itself. Like, the world has been in turmoil, World War I, World War II. We were looking at numbers like 100 million people dying in the world, right? So, the world has suffered in many ways. And I can never say there was a time, though, that people had so much power and opportunity to really turn things around, not only potentially for just themselves, but also maybe those adjacent to them, maybe the immediate family. Maybe you start bossing up more. Maybe it's the neighborhood. Maybe also, you get a chance to reach back in with the children, because there are still unfinished missions that need, they need time, they need space, they need resources. And so also, even when we're talking about these fields are highly lucrative fields. They talk about, hey, if you could get 0.1% of the AI income that is coming through in the next, all the way up to 2030, you will already be sitting in the layer cake. We also explained that even with the crypto, it was really even an opportunity to actually buy in, like, but because the industry is worth this much, even if you only had this much percent of it, it will equal that amount. So again, a lot of times it's just the noise that you have going on around you and how much you're prioritizing what you're hearing. And so that's another big thing to speak to, is why we want to have more conscious creators, because the music that sometimes we go back to, the TV show, sometimes you get bored, you know what I mean? Like, you go watch the TV show and all this stuff, it just hits you again. Now you can go spend that time to make your own movie. Then you're weaning yourself off, because you're literally asking yourself, yo, you would rather watch this movie in this hour and a half than go and make a movie? What's up with you? You can start activating that dialogue that allows you to talk this maniac off the cliff. That's also a part of your consciousness now, because when you're involved in these systems and they indoctrinate, they're creating a separate id, or a separate identity. They show so much of how they create a real identity. But that identity is also a spiritual thing. And it's also what you're talking to at times when you're trying to break free and go do something different. Then it's like, it's always negative. Like, yo, why would you deal with the cryptocurrency when, that's going to be a scam? They're going to be tracking that. You see what I mean? So there's always there's an antithesis.
Look,
and
while on the phone, there's being tracked. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Whilst on the phone, there's being tracked on the internet, on the IP address. That's being tracked.
Nothing makes sense. Everything that you saying against yourself, there's other things that you're doing even worse. So it doesn't make any sense.
It's you canceling yourself out, man.
Yeah.
And
I mean, and this is such a real thing. Like, it involves mental health, psychospirituality, value of self. And this is all of what's been attacked, because there's a term now, they call it let me get the proper term here. So we're talking about human capital. Okay. How much is the hourly work of different humans at different ranges worth? That's called human capital. And they're saying, hey, AI can even take, in some instances, a person's human capital to zero, meaning that they have almost no value anymore in the system for what they are trained to do, and how much the system values that over what AI will do it for.
Fact.
You see what I mean? And so why would you even be a part of any longer something that has a plan? Like, you're seeing all of it. See, back in the day, this was harder. Like 10 years ago, trying to explain to people, yo, even that the UN was constructed and put together by the same people who they're saying is not agreeing. Like, today, they just did a 14 votes to end the situation going on over there. They let one veto stop them from being able to do it. What kind of democracy is this? So you're seeing clearly, yo, all of this is fake. They did enough to make the props seem real, to keep it inhabited, to mine more, to get the ideas that we have, to figure out, hey, how are they thinking? How are they moving? Like, right. And then sometimes, when we try to even put this on reptilians, sometimes I'll be like, man, the reptilians ain't even this bad. It can't be, meaning that, I feel like the whole thing is a sham. And that the people that you're actually seeing and the energy that they have been inhabiting inside of their consciousness, and that vibration in itself across the universe, galaxy, consciousness, DNA, whatever, that part can never rule and can never be in control. And if its sole purpose is to just exist, to make sure if at any point you come into a reality where it's testing you, to ask you if you're going to go in with that, to how you can react, how you're going to react, that's only a fail-safe. That's a fail-safe your ancestors had to put in place anyway before they can even let you out in the galaxy, or you just be getting knocked aside the head all the time. Oh, come on over here with your energy and do this and do that and generate it for us. And then we're going to go ahead and step on it and crunch it down. And then here's the end. Here's your token, your value. Right. So it's all about also, this is not just like a, hey, go and do this, because, hey, that's all this is as long as damn near the internet works. Like I've had a situation where they cut the whole seaboard off and you're sitting there with no internet, and see how that feels to what you thinking, how much you really owe, and how much you really have earned and how much is really owed to you. So really the real move is, yo, get as much of that fake green crazy fiat or digitalized crypto as you want, and then start dumping that stuff into land. Start dumping that stuff, like, and then also even making your smart moves, like buying GPUs, running your own farms. Like I know, Pill, you wanted to discuss some things about, decentralized structures, and then actually realizing how, a person can begin to create money with their own intellectual property being tokenized, and then be more in a master seat because you're holding GPUs right now rather than engines, right? Like it's just the game changed, but the same dynamics in the behind the scene as far as the mechanics of how the energy work stay the same. Am I right or am I wrong on that?
No, you're absolutely correct. We live in a day and time where we have the opportunity to level up in terms of our value proposition. I have a tier system that I'm developing, and everything that I'm speaking of today is going to be in the form of a workbook and a manual that we will be dropping all the way up into the first and the second. I'm not waiting until the first and the second to add value. This is going to be breadcrumbs all the way up into the day that we knock on the castle, of that door that we opened up the other side on the day of the quote unquote dead, on the day of the All Saints Day, when we tap into the quantum realms, because a lot of the information is tapping into the quantum realms. I'm sure many people have interfaced with AI and felt like they were tapping into the multiverse. Some of the generations of images that are coming back are said to come back from the multiverse. Going back to what you were saying earlier about just, where we are as a people right now.
Well, actually, Red, I really want you to stay on that for just a quick moment, because,
Yeah.
you mentioned the Day of the Dead, and a lot of times when people hear this stuff, they already get spooky grim, right?
Yes.
So, in clarifying things, what was really discovered was the Day of the Dead was actually the times that the ancestors come and visit us.
Right.
And
so
yeah.
if we are to speak on technology, Heka, right? The highest form of mentalism, right? Mental magic, right?
Man.
Whoever creates patents is operating at a form of mental magic. They're an alchemist. So if we look back in history, they still can't figure out how the pyramids were formed. If we look back in history, the technology that built the megalithic structures is still superior to the technology of man that's alive today. So it's to my understanding that when we honor the ancestors on the Day of the Dead, when the quote unquote veil is at its lowest, we are still paying homage to the progenitors of this technology that we're speaking on and that we're teaching on, because it's them that brought it to us. Even the master teachers who we will be honoring. You got to keep in mind, it's the research of the Cheikh Anta Diop. It's the research of a Dr. Ben. It's the research of a Dr. Delbert Blair. It's the research of a Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Amos Wilson. I'm talking about Dr. Sabi. These are scientists. These are engineers. These are people who gave us formulas and methods that literally have been giving most of us the impetus to not only be our greatest self, but to literally break the spell, break the invisible prison, raise up people who are dead to become godlike. Like it's miraculous. And going back to data, when it's all said and done, we are going to be able to qualify that their data, or the data of the ancestors, the ones who were here before us, that data is greater. that data is really like true gold bars, true wealth, bitcoins. I mean, it is rich in so much data, bro. These are the people that we are going to be honoring. I'm talking about even to the artists, Young Dolph. Nipsey Hussle's data is priceless. Why? Because he had the potential to turn a nation of millions into billionaires because he was early adopter to crypto. He knew how to articulate, how to onboard. He understood the science of the blockchain, and he was into health. So he was into health and wellness. He was into the Sabi method, and he was into the blockchain crypto DeFi method. He was not a beginner. He was advanced, and he had a store that was selling smart clothing, right? QR code smart clothing. So son was a genius. If he ever got a big platform, like if EYL interviewed him, or if he had the proper platform, oh my goodness. Remember, in this attention economy that we are in, that we've been in since about 14 and whatnot, impact is the currency. He would have made impact the same way that Cat Williams made impact on Club Shay, and you saw all type of current or value was added to the bottom line as a result of the impact that was being made. That's that type of impact. I could go on for days about these artists.
I mean, right? And even, you know, you also see the move, like even when they moved Kimmel off of his show, all that's a play because he's coming to YouTube. Because all of them know, yo, we trying to get out of these ABC, NBC contracts. They ain't paying nothing. I go to YouTube.
Paying enough, right? They ain't paying enough.
And, you know, Steven asked me about that the other day, and I went and did the math real quick just to make sure I was giving to her accurately. But on a 30-minute video with 50,000 views, YouTube is paying between $800 to $1,500 for that video. You see what I mean? And so and that's compound. So, but this is something this is an old game. You know what I mean? Like they just pushed out 100 billion. If you wanted to get the receipt, it's right there. But it's just saying to you that, hey, even Hollywood at that rate, actors like, yo, we need to go like Matthew McConaughey. We need to come over to YouTube. So, but what we're saying though is that, but still the message, like my wife was even asking me, hey, you know, why don't we see even love stories anymore? Like, notice how all of the movies, all we got is the Notebook for the ladies. You know what I mean? Like, so where are we
so
at?
Hard to remake Love Jones. But yeah, that's something that we got to do that because we got love on our hearts. Woe onto the one who waits for somebody to express their love language. For those of us from this community who understands love on another level, we've been able to transcend Roman antics. It's literally on us to become the new script writers. It's literally on us to become the new quote unquote content creators. It's literally on us to become the new media empires. Did you just see that Marvel left Georgia and went over to Europe? Everybody is dipping and whatnot because they are the cost of creating everything has been leveled. You don't need the type of budget that you needed anymore. They don't need any of that. They only need content houses. They need green screens and
stories
and AI budgets, and they need AI prompters and people who know how to work that technology. You saw OpenAI is going to release a film in 2026, and they're also opening up a division of where they're financing films. So they're getting into the financing business because they know in the future AI films, once one of them wins an Oscar award, it's out of here. But they know that you can tell your story right now without any middleman, without any permission, without any oversight, without anybody telling you, you know what, I don't really like that character. You need to put a whiter character, or you need to remove that. Those days, ladies and gentlemen, are over. The days for when, you know how many videos, you remember how many commercials came out that said Michael J. White was doing a movie on the moors. And then after him, Mike Tyson was doing a movie on the moors. And then after him, Leonardo DiCaprio was doing a movie. Then Denzel. It was so many rumors of a Moorish epic movie. We don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm calling on the black Satoshis that are out there. I'm calling on the whales that are out there. I'm calling on the ones who are sitting in the angel investors and the archangel investors that are sitting in the wings and whatnot and aura farming. Okay, because that's what they do. They aura farm Sevan, Bomar. They aura farm Radiohead, Rich. They aura farm Rich Phil and whatnot. They like to take the ideas because they have the funding. They like to take the concepts. They like to take the lingo. They take the likeness, the NIL, the name, image, likeness. So we're being cloned by a lot of other people who are taking information and doing what thou will. But at the end of the day, we have our network, we have our tools, and we have our purpose. So there's nothing stopping us anymore. We actually should be celebrating. So
And
November 1st
we have
and
the higher
November,
laws.
no, huh?
We also have them higher laws in the background because, you know, all of that's gotta, you know, we have thousands of years worth of rebalancing that needs to be paid back to this reality. I don't think, you know, I don't even think it's courteous to even jip off the planet and had done a mess like this and not as necessarily clean up mama's house. You know
Oh,
what
we're
I
gonna
mean?
clean
So it's a
mama's
big
house up in all ways. Bro, the bombs that are gonna be released through cinema, through AI cinema. You said thousands of years of information. Think about this, Rich. Think about this, Sevan. We literally can take and compress thousands of years of research in textbooks. We could translate German textbooks. We could translate Italian textbooks. We could go, they have a whole museum in Spain right now where they have all of the manuscripts, but it's in their language. We can actually go and use AI and translate every single document of that right now. We could go into the Vatican. We could access all type of manuscripts from ancient quote unquote days. They're doing stuff like that with the Rosetta Stone. They're giving out money. They're actually giving out money for people that could translate some of these monuments.
and that was and we're sitting here doing that in Tri Vibes now.
Right. And
We're
try,
thinking
right.
still, you know, Chat GPT is even strong enough now to, but and that's the thing. It's like we got to go back and check base anyway, because a lot of times when you read in Budge and Budge said it said this, they didn't really expect for we would ever get to a time where somebody else is going to be able to run in and say, what does this say?
What is this
And
really
I have
saying?
found on every occasion that it does not say what is written inside of those books. That's how bad it really is. You know what I mean?
Right. So we literally can see that we're embarking upon a new age of enlightenment. We can literally look through the telescope and say, in the next few years, we are going to literally embark upon this new age of enlightenment, because the way the probability works, any rising, any one of us could wake up and open up our phone and our means of communication, and they'll be like, yo, a breakthrough just happened. This was discovered. There's a new, you know what I mean? Like, there's literally the windows of probability are like one of those 50-foot windows that you see in those mansions in the Hamptons and whatnot. We have to go through those windows. We don't stay, we're not bystanders of this window. We're going through the window when others are afraid to go through the window because they are afraid of what's on the other side. We are not. We are aware that that mothership that's coming to the planet in November is coming to see our workshop. We are aware that when we was on Crystal Mountain and we said that Atlanta is Atlantis, that somebody heard that in a constellation far away and they started sending the armada to us. We know that the ancestors, the master teachers, they're the ones pulling the strings, man. Panic is on the other side working this shit. All of the master teachers that went on the other side, Baba Kalindi and all of them, they making this shit collapse, man. They are creating a new reality for us. It is our duty to pick up the tools not any way that we see fit, but some of us, we should focus on discipline. We should focus on training. We should focus on purpose. Should focus on intention. And then we should put a laser focus on whatever that is that we need to create and whatever it is that we need to manifest and whatnot, and move forward with that, with the quote unquote charge of thousands and make it happen.
It's
This
definitely about
combination of,
being a conduit for a higher vision.
I'm sorry,
Instead of
my brother.
I was saying it's definitely about being a conduit for a higher vision instead of being service to self. You know, being in the position to be in service to others at this stage. And I wanted to bake in a little bit more about, again, because this was deep meditations happening, and it happened to happen around the October 31st time. Big transmissions was coming through, and when you look in other cultures, when they observe this Day of the Dead, there's a process where they lay out like a mural. They bring all of the things that the so-called dead person liked.
Yes,
Okay.
what they were into.
Yes. We come to discover that the actual art, the actual knowledge around this was construed so much that we thought we were observing the dead and taking time out for them like they were in prison. When
Right.
reality was, it was exactly opposite.
Opposite. Right.
And then what happens at that point is that we are bought our gifts, things that we recognize, those things are bought to us. Like if I'm in prison, my people come to me and bring me
A
whatever they can
little
bring me that I
30
like.
pound package. Yeah.
Yes. And for that day and a bit more, I can eat off of that. You see what I mean? So this was the real knowledge coming through about that. Is like, yo, you're the one that's in the governor. You're the one that's in the pentagram. We're coming to visit you. But this is what this is all about. So you see how it get twisted in the reality. They make you think that, hey, no, we're our dead uncle and aunt, and we still miss them. It's like, no. It's opposite. They're missing you because you're still actually in the prison and haven't necessarily got to the stage where you're breaking through until now. And that comes in sequence.
You didn't graduate yet. You're still in prison. You're still stuck. They didn't die. They went through the door and got pulled through. If their scorecards say that they failed the test, they just got to repeat it again. But many people make it through to the next level, so they come back to see you. So I'm saying thank you for all of these tools that y'all are sending us, ancestors. I know that it's y'all good looking. If y'all have any more gifts, if y'all have any more jewels that y'all want to bestow upon us, I'm more than grateful to accept it. Here is my offering. I have some cornucopia for you. You feel me? We bought pumpkins, we bought squash, we bought corn. I'm gonna have the master teachers in a frame. And I'm also listening to only artists who made transition that day on my playlist. Only artists from the quantum realm, from the other realm, and whatnot. So this is all ceremony for me. This is a ritual for me. I'm not treating this as a master class. This is a mastermind. This is a master move. You understand? This is a master move. This is your mic is off.
I was saying it's in every bit of itself an initiation. It's initializing, just like when they push a computer button, they say, hey, initialize, start up, turn on. It's initiating and initializing a point that, because 2020, and it was simple numbers. 2025, 9. This ain't the year to start anything. This is the year where things gonna be over with. This is the thing that you let stuff go, see what still can be maintained. And that's how the whole vibe of the year was. It was a wrap for so many things. What is the next year? Number one.
Right. So over the past 4 weeks, we've seen the facade of the streets be destroyed before us. We've seen the facade of the thugs be destroyed right before us. We've seen the facade of the gangs, drop your flag, being dropped right before us, right around the time of a blood moon, all ritualistic. The bloods were getting dropped during the blood moon and whatnot, all ritualistic. Then we saw a grand psyop go down and whatnot right before 9/11. And we also saw people drop their flag during that, because people who we thought were on one frequency showed that they were not on that frequency. And we are now moving into a place where I would say in 6 months, the conversation that we will be having as a community will not be about Young Thug. It would not be about hip hop. It would not be about gang culture. It would be about building. It would be about entrepreneurship, land ownership. It would be about AI income streams. It will be about AR, VR, and SR, right? Augmented reality, virtual reality,
Robotic,
spatial reality, you know,
AGI,
AGI, strong AGI, automated, embodied robotics and whatnot. Embodied robotics, robots that have GPT-6 chips, WAN 3, DeepSeek 9 running them, right? And embodied when you put the brain into the machine. So the Zumba, the little AI vacuum cleaner, that's version 1 of the embodied AI. But when they released the Tesla bot, Optimus, that's version 2. But then they also have version 3 as well. So we're entering into a very precarious time. The cheat code and the winning formula in this earlier stage, not to say what it's going to come down the pipeline, but in this early stage that we're in the earliest stages, ladies and gentlemen. We are early adapters. The ship has not even left the port. This is the magic that we have to focus on when we do our meditation. 3 platforms right in front of you, ladies and gentlemen. Men lie, women lie, numbers do. This new digital economy that's attached to Web 3.0, that's attached to cryptocurrency, and this also aligned and powered by AI, it's a numbers-based type of thing. It works exponentially and parabolically with numbers. So the fact that we all are strong in our numbers and our networks, that means that anything that we put our minds to and we connect our nodes and we connect these bridges and whatnot, similar to how AI, remember the thing that I like about AI is that it works off of truth. If the code has an error in it, it will not work. You have to debug it. The AI works off of truth. It's not speculation. It works off of truth. You put a prompt in the AI engine and then it gives you a result. But when you really look at what we're looking at, AI is mimicking our minds. Because when Brother Rich asks Red Pill or Sevan a question, he's prompting our quote unquote brains. He's prompting our quote unquote LLM, right? And we're giving him the answer. So literally that is what they're mimicking on so many different levels and scales. And we're here to let you know that we have the formulas and we have the steps on how to take all of that, monetize it, and use it for your advantage. So we need y'all in the building November 1st and November 2nd. We look forward to seeing y'all. We look forward to seeing y'all in the Discord. Make sure that y'all get y'all tickets for the workshop. Brother Rich, let him know about the workshop, please, my brother.
Yeah, Sevan, is the link in the chat for the family?
Yeah, it's actually inside of the description and it's pinned in the chat. And what I wanted to mention, just so everybody understands here, is that we talk a lot about multidisciplinary. We know if we're depending on somebody else, I call sometimes myself the ultimate connect, because at any point I can get it done in the event that somebody is procrastinating about that. I will say for sure that I hit a melting point about 2 years ago. I hit real burnout because I had at least 3 big things going and I was struggling trying to find good people.
Right.
People who really wanted to go in. This, like, they glamorize this kind of life, but in many ways, it's a lot of behind the scenes and making sure there's a preparation that has to take place. It's not just jumping on this. And so when it was time to enlist other people to get into that, they just thought that it was going to be whatever story they painted for themselves. So getting people to do the things in the background and make this stuff really work was almost not possible. I even said to myself personally, to the ancestors, look, if it's going to continue like this, it's like y'all just gave up on the situation. I said that I will really go in, but come on. Next day, AI dropped.
Right.
By the time I was done, I had this thing doing so much stuff everybody hated to do. I'll tell you this. You ask yourself the question, how much would it cost in just a standard profession, you even maybe a carpentry company, whatever, to hire an assistant these days to assist you in doing all the stuff that you don't even want to do? Minimum, I was even looking at it, Costa Rica race is different, but minimum $2,000, $1,500 a month. I don't even know nobody who will work for that, to be honest. But I'm just trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. $1,500, $2,000 a month.
Facts.
Right now, if you spent $1,500 a month, Red, if you spent $1,500 a month just even in subscriptions on AI, I don't even think you could almost get to that amount. But the reality is, how much? You see what I mean? Like $29 here a month, $100 here a month.
But that's the cheat code, Sevan. The cheat code to get far and to move forward in the AI is you have to treat your click and order like your brick and mortar. So if you are paying $3,000 in rent in your brick and mortar and you're no longer in a brick and mortar, you have to invest $3,000 in rent into your click and order. If you were paying payroll at the tune of 10,000, 15,000, and 5,000, if you don't have brick and mortar anymore, you still have to pay payroll because you're buying your agents, you're upgrading your agents, you're adding more agents. So you have to bring the same mind state into the AI business now that you were using in the brick and mortar, and you're going to excel because they put us in this place of mediocrity. They put us in this comfort zone where we're like, yo, I'm just paying that $20 chat GPT subscription. I'm lit. It's doing everything for me. You feel me? Like they're riding a cat.
Yeah.
You're trying to ride the back of an alley cat when we're like, no, you could ride the back of an elephant.
Super intelligent.
$5,000 into your toolbox. Stop cheating yourself. Start treating yourself. Dump $5,000 into your operation. Put it on ads. Put it in the toolboxes and put it in the quote unquote VAs. There are people in Nigeria. There are people in the Philippines. There are people overseas who are waiting for you because your $1 means so much in their village that you have no idea. Your little measly dollar that you throw around, this little measly $1 bill, the make it rain, that shit means something in Nigeria. And when it gets currency exchange, it means something in Kenya where they have skills and they will build out, they will construct, they will execute, they will do everything that you need to be done. So budget is the key in this AI quest of ours to build something that's tangible that you could either scale or sell or live off of and live smarter and not harder. The 3-hour work week by Tim Ferriss. That's the reality that we all should be living in right now. 4-hour work week. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Like this is the real knowledge. You know, this is how there is a plan, because that's really what it requires you to do is like really put forth a plan and be empowered in that plan. We're going to assist you with the tools to actually do that. We're going to show you what we do, you know, where the value is really at. And that way, you know, we've done the best that we could. I'll put it like that. Like I'm always going to come in and do my best. But I also feel like that this is the beginning of something way more larger than we can ever believe. Because once we take a moment to start to build the tools that empower all of us, and we close those silos and those gates that have been basically dispersing all of the current and the wealth and the creativity that we have, when we start building the educational tools, even for our children to go quantum with the education, at least to catch up with the Chinese, when education even starts becoming important again, like all of these leaps that we need to make, we get an opportunity to make those, but we're not going to be doing that alone. We're going to be doing that with those who actually realize where their power is coming in with this. They're going to feel empowered. And as we talked about in the headline of this show, the boss is coming in. Even now, I don't count on me just telling people what they need to do. I sit down with super intelligence, get the instructions put together properly. And when there's a person that needs to do that, they're getting complete instructions on what is requested from them in a clean and clear way, especially when you're dealing with engineers, developers, and this kind of thing. You can really, even your accountant, you could begin to task these people. They may not be doing no work, but they got the license. So you could go and say, hey, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and file for this? You'll find that the reason why we're in also such a wild situation is because people really don't do good work. So they really are ready to phase everybody out, meaning that we always been trying to milk the clock. And if it's not our company, and if they don't You see, so we've been cutting a lot of corners. I like how AI, when you sit in front of this thing, it's about it's get stuff done time. It's not a conversation. How you doing today? Hey, I'm good. Yo, did you see this and that? More wasting time. It's like I come to this and I tell it, hey, this is what I need to get done, and it starts doing it. That's what a boss is. Now you try to do that with somebody else, especially in 2025, they finna catch your attitude. You finna lose friends. You see what I mean? But you still need to get the work done. Some of us even have companies and we just pay people just to so they don't go nuts because we still need to really kind of cover them. But in reality, they're not working anymore at the capacity of what we need them to really do in this. You see what I mean? So it's about even empowering them. Like, yo, hey, take this tool, do this and this. So it's planning. So you're entering into a structure. Radiohead's got the Discord going on. Everybody's congregating there. There's a move that's about to be made with the Discord where there's going to be some rooms built out. As Red said, we're going to be dripping all the way up until the point of coming in, gems, knowledge, awareness to build you up to understanding what you're now going to learn and know proficiently how to do at the highest level. We're going to bring you into the 1% because we can do that. And then you can take it the rest of the way with your uniqueness. And in that, I don't know if there's any much more that needs to be said beside to do it. And so, I want to leave it open just for, some final thoughts, but I really feel like that, for the purpose of what we have came here to do today from all magnitudes, understanding that you're at a key point, there's auspicious times being chosen where the ancestors is like, yo, we're really here, but you're the conduit. You see what I mean? Don't get it twisted. They're not doing this for you. That's not how you learn anything.
Right.
But if you want to feel empowered and you need the favor, because see, the favor is the real key. When you go places and walk through things and, what be watching out for you that you don't even know what's going on and guiding you to the right people, that's the real thing. That's where the real work comes in at. That's what the ancestors are doing. So the least that we could do is get geared up and get prepared and equipped to use the AI to figure out more about writing grants for the 501c3, start using the APIs from other softwares that give you all the knowledge about who's contributing to those kind of causes, basically putting a rocket on to whatever it is that you're doing so you actually make the progress and you start seeing the changes and the transformation. That's all we're talking about here. And it's great. Like I said on Radiohead show, it's great that we get an opportunity to be the ones to introduce you to this, because it would be just like in many cases of when others were introduced to the crypto and they got involved, they had diamond hands. And then now through all of what was said, they're all the way up. You see what I mean? That's because they caught that message and it became fruitful for them. So that's what I also make sure I operate in at that highest level of integrity, is that if I say, hey, I'm going to do something, I'm going to make sure that there's enough there for you to really do it. I'm going to have played chess with the whole thing and thought it all the way through, make sure I boiled it all the way back down to the most dopest way to present it. And then I'm going to deliver it that way, because that's the least that I can do, because my cup already runs over. And I want to mention one final thing about, you mentioned the energy of the ancestors and just how rich and valuable it was. It reminded me immediately when you were talking about that, is when we get onto the other plane, let's say, whether it's the DMT, whether it's the breathing, it's so rich. First of all, you realize there's way more energy there than you can even handle. That's a funny phenomenon, because in the world, if they starving, they act like there's a scarcity in energy. And over there, you're like, yo, I don't want it. That's enough energy. I'm about to blow up. You see what I mean? So it's like hey, it's not even real in there, that limitation. And then also, like I said, being able to come up in this right now and say, okay, I'm gonna start channeling and bringing that energy into my life, but with purpose, because I need to now, and I know why, because the stuff really happened. It was no longer listening to Red Pill, Radiohead, Sevan, and all of the other master teachers and what they said was going to happen. It's 2025, and you see it go down. It went down yesterday. It's wacky. Even the platform of Charleston White, the priorities are lost, just whacked out. Like they lost the plot. You see what I mean? So there's so much happening that we know, like, yo, how can that be celebrated? That's the time. It's like, yo, you need to make your move. So let's just understand it as that. Do you have some final thoughts, Radiohead, Red Pillar? Y'all got something else y'all want to deliver? I mean, I'm excited. I'm trying to get to November 1st fast.
Right, yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk much, but let me say this. I want to say that I'm here to, and what I bring to the table, and what I'm like I'm also proud of is that I'm here to represent for the generational curse breakers. So if you're out there in the world and you feel like you belong in a family, but you don't belong in a family, you feel like you know people, but you don't know people, you feel like you're right, but you're wrong at the same time. This is what we're doing right here. This is what it's about. It's about we're creating change that 90% of the world don't understand. But you might get on the internet or you might meditate. You might connect with an ancestor. You might connect with God. You might connect with your higher self, and they will let you know you're doing your thing. See, a lot of times, this is what happens. A lot of times, we're on the right course, but we don't get the external validation that we're looking for. So we abort the course, we abort the mission. And that's so messed up. That reality is like that. And the thing is, while we're here and while we all should be here, and while we talked about unity consciousness to begin the show, and why Sevan is collaborating with myself and Red Pillar, nobody has to agree with everybody says, but what we're doing right now is a reflection of what reality entails. The subconscious mind looks at reality as one. The conscious mind separates everything. So you may be reading gossip on the internet, and your conscious mind says, yeah, him. Your subconscious mind says, me. So you think you are reading about somebody else. Meanwhile, you're observing that person's energy. So this is why they got control over the media. It's the number one weapon. It's the number one tool. It's the biggest game in town. It's the media. Family. This is the biggest opportunity. I don't know if you've seen the ads. I don't know if you see the commercials, the promo. This is the biggest opportunity for us to finally say, we taking that back. Red Pill talked about, so-and-so said he was coming out with the movie about the Moors. I heard about Mansa Musa here, Mansa Musa there, the Moors there, this person there, that person there. All of that, Hollywood said, nope, Every what about this? What about that? What about Hollywood's like, nope. Guess what, y'all? Whoever's in the audience watching now, whoever's gonna watch in the future, whoever watched in the past, because I believe everything exists at once. Guess what? We could change that right now. Don't move the goalposts and say, well, maybe this, maybe that. No, it's happening. The change, and I know it's scary, and it's unusual, and it's something that we're not used to seeing. So we may criticize it before we appreciate it, but the change is happening right now. If you see the promo, I was on a plane. I just came from Honduras for the weekend. I watched the promo for this workshop, and it completely rewired my brain to the point where in the promo, I said, yo, I'm renaming my channel. Listen, I'm not going to tell you the name I had for my channel and my LLC and all of that. After watching that video, I completely changed the direction of my LLC, my channel, everything. The videos, image is everything. All the master teachers talked about it. We have the ability to change the image now. My son got a little damaged by cocoa melon. It was so high stimulation. Right now he feels as though boredom, he's like so high, he got so highly stimulated by it that he feels as though when he does something ordinary that we wouldn't be bored by, it's boring to him because he's just so overstimulated from YouTube shorts or something. So we had to, after I found out about all that, I'm like, oh shit, no more cocoa melon for you, whatever, this and that. But my point is that we could create our own cocoa melon. We could create our own Star Wars. We could create our own Avatar. We could create our own so much right now. And on top of that, we could work for AI will assist us. Listen, let me say this about AI, family, because we got a workshop November 1st and November 2nd, 6 hours each day. It's going to be the biggest AI workshop ever. We got tech geniuses. We got a Discord happening for the next 2 months leading into the workshop. And who knows what we're going to have after that. But we are creating something absolutely magnificent, fantastic. I'm so excited. I just entered. If you watch from the beginning, I entered a new era in my life where I changed my name, I changed my company's name, and a large part of that, let me say, a large part of that was due to AI. Very inspirational. Let me say this about AI before I conclude, and Red and Sevan wraps it up. AI makes a wonderful servant, but a horrible master. I'm gonna keep saying that because I don't want people to hear bad news about AI and say, Rich Red Sevan told us about. Listen to what I'm saying. It's the same principle as money. Money's not evil. The people who use money are evil. And they use money to create the evil that they do. It's going to be the same way with AI. AI makes a horrible master, y'all, but it will make a beautiful servant. Let's not replace a higher self with AI. Let's use AI to serve us for what we have to do, what we have to accomplish. Family, when I say I'm excited, that's an understatement. And I've been calm this whole show. I sat back this whole show and I let Red and Blue talk this whole show. So I'm glad and I'm appreciative that you let me talk the last final 7 minutes before they wrap it up, because words can express how happy I am. And I didn't want to act like I didn't want to act like a madman. But family, when I tell you, from the change of my company name, from the change of my personal name, from the change of my logo, from my son getting involved in AI and me teaching him certain things, family, I'm so excited I could explode right now. But I'm going to remain calm. I remained calm. Woo saw the whole show. I allowed the brothers to speak. But family, if you do not click on that link, oh my God, I do not know what to say. Everybody who clicks on the link tonight, you will get the link to the Discord within 24 hours. So the link is in the chat. Click on the link tonight. You will get the link in the Discord in 24 hours. Like I said, the Discord is light. We are hitting it super hard Sunday. There will be a complete takeover of the Discord on Sunday, which is in 2 days. So I'd advise you to get your link now for that takeover that's going to happen on Sunday. We have tech experts hitting the scene that nobody knows about. We have Sevan hitting the scene. We have Red hitting the scene hard. I'm hitting the scene hard. We have B-Dale. We have Billy Carson. We have so many names that I don't even want to say everybody's names that is hitting the Discord on Sunday and beyond. Family, do not miss this opportunity. Click the link right now in the chat. Get your ticket. I'm trying to calm myself down and be relaxed and let these brothers do what they do, because listen, family, I could explode at any second. But I'm gonna be calm, and on that note, I'm gonna pass it to Sevan and Red Pill. Peace and blessings. Thank you, everybody. May everybody have a successful journey for the rest of the weekend. Bless you.
Man, we want to definitely give thanks. Also, Radiohead is for sure the glue. Like, we got to even take a moment to even give thanks for that, because I'm constantly engaged, but throughout the years, I've always had a line. We've definitely share a very similar audience and many of the same beings. Red Pill, like at times when I be seeing him, I'm like, man, we must have came in on the same shit. I know if y'all been watching this, the whole time, it's like, yo, easily we could be brothers. And in many ways, what you're seeing here, and I love the way that you put it earlier, was truly the effort that needs to be made from the heart, the subconscious side of things, saying, look, you're saying me, and mine. What I'm saying is ours, everything together. We got to see
Collective.
that now. Whatever wasn't accomplished in the past, forget about all that. It was all training. This is now the real world scenario. It's real things happen. Folks is dropping like flies. People are unsure. Our mothers need our fathers need, so there's a lot that we need to happen. And when we think about, hey, where is that going to come from? We now don't have to keep asking. We now know how we're empowered to do that. I also wanted to take a moment, since we were in the space, and there's so much power in the building, it's 771 up in the space. And, I wanted to just take this time to honor the ancestors. I also wanted to add Dr. Layla Africa, to the build,
Yeah,
just in
Barbara.
and in those vibrations out, because he also continues to, move through and express all the wisdom and knowledge through us of what was gained and what was learned about the mind, body, and soul. And, of course, Delbert Blair, I even had the opportunity to do builds with Blair and, and come on these networks. And, I felt like he was passing the baton in many ways, back in our Isis wisdom days and Lennon honor days. Like, those were the fresh beginnings. And now all of us are here, we've grown so strong and mature. Also will say, wisdom, Sophia learned from her mistakes. So nobody here is shy of not making any kind of mistakes, because that's how we learning.
That's a
And now
fact.
for sure. And now we're willing to say that we're right because we learned so much. Our hearts are in the right place, and our actions and intentions are now being magnified. And it's coming at a perfect time, because really the jaw has showed his ass and his face. So we know really how the reality feels about us, feels about good people, great people. I also want those to know that we're looking at the heart. Everybody that's on this build, even today, I don't want you to be seeing these external exteriors and go on your own fathoming about what you think you heard. Like, understand that unity itself is my at. And so it's all about the heart and where your energy is truly at. And if you're here to assist the people, like I said, service to others, then you're with us. And also, Red spoke to those who are, they say, aura harvesting is, yeah, that's been a new thing, right? But really also those who are empowered in some way, especially with resources and abilities, like not just coming in like, here's my idea, y'all take my idea to the next level. And then, we're talking about those who are saying, yo, I'm also in certain positions. I have a role in doing something. I have a certain skill. And I'm also trying to see with that, how can that collaborate in with this decentralized system of value that we're creating and building in real time. So, we've all been at this point of learning and baking what we know to do. Like, we could even launch tokens a while ago. We could have did a lot of stuff, but it was really about, again, moving with integrity, also understanding, what's going on in the space, and then really seeing where the value is. And now we know the value is within us. But that mining process, even like when we have to talk to the youngsters and, get them out of their funk, they ready to do that with something like this. I'm finna make a song. Yo, we finna drop a song right now. Let's go, spin that beat up. I got prompts that spit beats on, deeper than Tunk, and beats, deeper than Shawty Red, and anybody who came through. But at the end of the day, what I also want to mention is that because AI in itself is a replicator, and it can show you a variety of things. But as Red mentioned in the conversation, your uniqueness is really the key. I can always tell when I'm reading something from AI. I can even still always tell when I'm seeing an image from AI, and that's just because I have that trained eye. But it doesn't take a beautiful image or a beautiful typography or any of that to make a really good story. See, the work, like I could do a really good story in Stickman and you'll be crying in the end. So what's truly needed in this space is actually that real, this is my gift. This is what I came here to do. This is the movie, the role I saw in my dream. This is how it happens. You see what I mean? So this is the substance, as we were mentioning earlier, that the cultivation is really made of, that makes us so high quality, high value, and rich in what we do. And now we get a chance to take some of that, even just a bit of it, and be able to put it through something that's actually able to then return something that this reality understands as being something that it wants to give to. And so with that being said, I'm gonna let Red Pill take us out on this one. And, we're gonna get back together. We got quite a few more bills. Expect, of course, some other, some of these cinematics. I got some stuff I'm cooking on. And I want everybody to know also, this stuff is like, you really do have to sit down and be still and be like, enroll the conversation in your mind. So it's really fun in a way where you could always say, yo, I want to make a movie. And then now the ability is here and you realize, oh shit, I didn't even really think about what I wanted to make a movie about. And then you may put something together and you get it done, you all happy. And then when you sit back, you're like, but man, that's a little corny. I need to sharpen my skills. So this helps you. It's the only thing that I've learned, the only thing that I've continuously learned from in all my experiences of dealing with technology. Like I can literally, so what did that do in the code? And it's like, oh, we did this. Now I'm a maximum level. I'm getting up,
Straight
I'm
up.
going up ranks of the code now, right? And then other things. So I'm loving to see the point where again that we're growing the educational system. Like when you even go on a conversation and you start you start asking about something, and then you can stop the conversation and start asking more about that one thing that you didn't know about, then return back to the conversation, right? And then imagine that all being visual. Like, here's what happened in this country during this time. Here's the person that was there. Here's the people. This is where we're at now. And this stuff is not even built yet. And we're in a position where we can even build it. And so, like, and all that, like, even the level that's at now from the last 2 weeks, and that's why I told Radiohead, like, yo, we doing the class at the right time because stuff even dropped like a week ago that makes it all change. And this keeps happening. This is the industry that's moving that fast. So we're giving you a nice checkpoint to start on a high level, and then you just keep going, and there's no telling where you're going to go. And it just make sure you realize the original plan, which was that you get unified and continue to contribute to what's actually happening here in unity. So wholeness and balanced vibrations, family. Red, go ahead, anything that you want to deliver to the people. Like, I know, they really enjoy everything that you have to say. The energy that you produce is phenomenal. You like really seeing you come into space and continue to share and just be you. They say the most important thing about all this is just remaining authentic. We know we always get Red. And that helps with everything, with the mentorship to those who are continuously listening to these messages. Like, it's more popular than people think too. At the end of the day, the rappers, the stars, the actors, they all be back there. Sometimes we be talking about them and they be catching a couple arrows, but we definitely want everybody to know that, these are the same things that we have to tell to ourselves. So it's not personal.
Yeah, it's not shit. The things that we tell ourselves, y'all would be scared if y'all heard us. And it just goes down the line. It's tough love, it's big homie talk, it's unk talk, it's talking to your child talk, you know what I mean? Or talking to your son. The YNs, they need a father figure or someone they could talk to like a barber. Nah. So I got visuals, man. I got some visuals that I wanted to end this off, and I got gifts too. So real quick, if I could throw this on the stage for everybody, because we did this show to speak about entrepreneurship. We did this show to speak about manifestations. We did this show to speak about becoming a boss. And I never want to leave empty-handed, nor do I want to leave anybody empty-handed. So this did not exist before we put this lecture together. This did not exist before Father Rich put together this workshop. This is specifically for this workshop. Like I said, we're going to keep dropping gems. We're going to keep dripping value all the way up until we knock on that door, November the 1st and the 2nd. Everybody that's getting a ticket tonight, you're going to be able to have this manual. Okay, you're going to be able to utilize. This is a manifestation manual. We're not just talking about it. Like, we literally are creating. We're literally bringing things of value into this space so you could benefit off of it. All right. This is something that you can use from 6 to 60, 8 to 80, blind, crippled, and crazy. There's no age limit to bossing up. There's no age limit to manifesting. There's no age limit to creating. There's no age limit to your imagination. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is a manual. It's a step-by-step booklet for you to get your game on track and not your wig pushed back. All right. Vibe coding, programming reality through thought, through prompt engineering. Right. The daily visual manifestation. So this is authored by Napoleon Hill. It's incorporated with Napoleon Hill's teachings and also Bruce Lipton's teachings about being able to visualize and manifest. We're using the AI to help you focus. We're using the AI to help you manifest. We're using the AI to become a living vision board. We're using the AI to help to push repetition and consistency. That's what Napoleon Hill said were the building blocks to success: consistency and persistence. Persistence and consistency. So you could loop everything now with AI and automation. You could loop good news. You could loop manifestations. You could loop affirmations. You could hyperloop it. You could go to sleep listening to it. You could walk around hearing it all day. You could literally program your subconsciousness with the AI, with all of the new tools, with the generative AI, with everything. So this is a gift from me to you for being proactive. And then I'm going to show a video because we also have to show what we're doing visually. Okay. We are creating the fantasy complex industry in real time. I have students that are out here making me proud and whatnot. How can I remove this and put the video thing up? So these are just some visuals. These are just some images. I heard the show other day with my good brother Sharif Bey, and I went ahead and I created radionics devices, luxury though. I'm making toys out of the master teachers. I'm taking this industry, this consciousness, and I'm creating an industry out of it using the AI. I'm enterprising. I'm bossing up. I'm hiring myself. I'm honoring the ancestors, and I'm making them quote unquote legendary. I'm not going to go outside of my, I got a niche. I'm going to focus on a niche. We're going to make great things. We're going to give this to the children's children. Okay, we're going to create animations. We're going to create video games. We're going to do all of this in a workshop. We are here to enlighten you. We are here to upgrade you. We are here to teach you a skill set that you can teach to your children's children. You could teach this around the world. You could be a digital nomad in Thailand, eating $3 noodles and whatnot, paying rent $30, and you could be chilling, getting that vitamin D and whatnot, but doing great things like making movies about the master teachers, so you can help fund through the blockchain and through smart contracts. You could fund them living in Costa Rica in blue zones, so they don't have to struggle, so they don't have to beg, so they don't have to work. You know what I mean? This is what we want to give to our master teachers, because we're creating a social credit system for the gods. We're creating our own social credit system. Okay, so our animations are something that we are going to create: video games, animation, cartoons, comic books, toys. Yeah, we the champions. They said Bud Crawford. Nah, Pill Crawford. They said Bud Crawford. Nah, belt to ass, Pill Crawford, baby. You know what I mean? You could become the greatest version of yourself. This is about the imagination. This is about reprogramming. This is what they scared of. We are the masters of the universe. This is our timeline. We are
Chat,
here.
what the hell? Really? They got a pillar at the Vatican. Pope Pablo, where you at, twin?
Don't tell the Pope that we doing this. But yeah, we outside. You know what I'm talking about? Creating our own realities. That's Fly Sinet right there. Creating our own realities. He's a time traveler, but that's a whole nother story. Creating our own stories, our own mythos, our own realities, our own narrative. God damn it. We're not waiting for nobody. We catch the train, man. You better catch the train. Don't get stuck in a train station. Don't get stuck in a train station like the Matrix. Go for the ride. Catch this next plane with us. We are taking this to the next level. And I didn't want to play any music because I didn't want you to get any strikes. But when we put the sound effects to this, when we put the music to this, when we put the
This is the
voiceover,
law of mental command. It is the understanding that you are not a victim of your thoughts, but a commander of them.
And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that's the ending of my little demonstration. I'm just giving y'all a slight little taste. This is just a taste. I promise you. This is a smidgen of how inspired I am. I'm not taking this lightly, Radiohead. I'm not taking this lightly, Sevan. I'm in my Birkin.
Okay. Okay.
Bravo, my
man.
brother.
That was
beautiful.
Man, that 3D. Woo.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
The whole montage.
excited.
You know what, family? Like if as I said before, there's nothing like this. Let's just sum it up like that. There's nothing like what's happening right now. Period. Show it to me. I'll link up. We'll call. Like, there's nothing like this. And so, you know, these are joyous times.
Look, the
Indeed.
mothership is coming back to see this live, man. They not gonna miss this. When they got the signal, they not gonna miss this. They heard about this on Stone Mountain through Radiohead signal. He didn't even know that he sent that signal out on Crystal Mountain before he verbally said it. He sent it out. The bees heard it, and they told the ancestors on Sirius B, and that's why the spaceships are coming.
Yo,
So, Red, hold up. That's
listen.
why the meteor landed in Georgia the day before Stone Mountain.
That's exactly why you did that. Because the gods are here. This is our time.
I'm on wax 12 years ago about Stone Mountain.
They're supporting us on the show.
Right.
I got a little piece of Stone Mountain right on the nightstand. No cap.
Wow.
Because I had a little stone that I got from Stone Mountain when I woke up and found out also that Atlanta was Atlantis and that the AT&T building was the biggest demon and that all of the lodges and all of that was, and even the subway stations on the other side of Atlanta and all that was all spiritually in tune, and that's why I was there. So I had this rock that took away all the addictions. Say, hey, take this. And I had this rock. I tell you, when I got into the worst skirmish, that was the only thing that was missing in the end was that rock. And that rock was from Stone Mountain. I spent a lot of time on that because we know that the capstone of the pyramid was made from the same granite that came from Stone Mountain, and all of the courthouses and all of the post offices from the old days is built from that same granite out in Elberton, Georgia, right, where you would go into a pawn shop or go into one of them thrift stores and even find emblems of Nazi Germany and things up in these spots, right? So we have no idea how ancient many of these places is. As you've seen with the symbols of the men standing out like stars in Stone Mountain back when they was doing all the carving for the mountain and things like that. So all of this is coming in a high level transmission is what I'm trying to explain to you. And it's no joke. It's not, we don't have to make any of this up. There's something happening. And this is what we're just trying to pull your coattail like, yo, something's going on with all this. It has all the indications that something on a much more major level is working. And this is not something that you really want to get in the way of. It's more something that you want to actually be a part of.
I'm sorry. I have to share something. I forgot Baba Samaj. I got to give him his proper. This is just showing you, family, the power of AI in real time. So Baba Samaj made transition today. Baba Samaj Heru, right? So we're creating our tribute to him, right? This is a tribute. We're creating a tribute to Studio of Ptah and whatnot. This man was called the Ankh Man. He is very significant in history, in conscious community, and also New York history, and also just spreading the whole Kemetic lore. So can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're able to memorialize them and create comic books and animations, right? So he's going to live on forever because he's going to become a part of the culture through animation.
Beautiful.
That's how that's the best way that I can honor my elder and other elders is by teaching their story to the children, right? And bringing them into the mythos and whatnot and canonizing them through the arts, because that's how we preserve one another, ladies and gentlemen, through the arts. The art is a preservation tool, right? So I got Jamal Milton and him. I got them looking like Disney characters. Pixar, I mean. You know? So this is C Dance, I believe, from China, the same company that owns TikTok. They came out with this right here. So Rise and Power Baba, the Studio Ptah is going to live on forever, and your memory shall be etched in stone as well. We will not forget you.
I can always remember that name because it's my name backwards. Like Samaj is James.
James,
and I know that because someone's like, yo, why don't you, you should just be Samaj. That's powerful right there. giving much respect and thanks to the ancestors, and also even to the frequency that Red is in, to be able to honor these ancestors in this way. Who finds that important these days and is inheriting, all of that beautiful dharma, all of that connection, that's the heart right there. And that's why, again, one of the biggest transmissions come through is don't lose your empathy in all this. This reality tries to make you cold, blow up something, kill somebody, forget about those people over there suffering, right? Like I cry for the earth, just to let it go, but it's really from my heart and it's really there. So, I want to share tears of joy. There's a mighty walk that's going to be happening over this next 20 years, 25 years as we're on the planet. We're already trying to extend life. We might have to dive into that too, if we have to keep carrying out this plan. But I look forward to seeing, again, all the powerhouses coming together and really standing in alignment to these truths. So, man, we went in. I can't wait till next time, like it was flowing, the train was moving, and so much love and honor came through. Like I can't do nothing but give thanks. And also I want to say thank you to everybody that got a chance to tune in today again. I don't know how long you can hold a channel and it's just nobody there. Like it doesn't happen right now. We got all the way into the 800 for a moment, and we know that you're out there in there, past, present, and future, those who will listen to it in all those spaces and connect with this, find those synchronicities. Like I was getting triggered with the synchronicities like crazy on this build. That's how I know the ring of truth. I know you were doing the same thing too. Yes.
Try to cut your wisdom. The brother 19 Keys sold out a venue the other day, and the capacity was 350. So we had 3 times that amount just being in the build with us tonight. That is a humongous amount of people to carry the frequency and the energy and the vision that we all were able to bestow upon them. I hope that they share with at least 3 to 4 to 5 others and create this web of intrigue so y'all could come and drink from this well, because Radiohead Rich, Brother Red Pillar, and Brother Sevan, we are adding value with every single piece of content that we are putting out there into the universe. We are providing you with rich data, ladies and gentlemen, rich data that you could actually take that data and you could break that data down, and you could do so much with that data, especially if you knew what kind of AI tools to use, especially if you knew how to extract with these AI toolboxes, especially if you knew how to scrape. You would be able to really level up on these high level conversations that we're having.
Absolutely. And with that being said, so much love to the family, wholeness and balanced vibrations. Love someone, love others, kiss your mom, call one of the family members, spend some time. It's all important. These are the times, shine, and we're always going to be here for you. Wholeness. Let's go. All right. So that's it. We just gonna cut the stream like that. Let's, come out with a little bit something. Let's see. Got a little bit here. All right. So yes, I guess we could kind of relax them just a little bit. And just take a couple breaths. Whew, there was a lot of information that came through. And of course, it's all for you, tribe. It's all for you. These are the times for you. Much love, honor, and respect to the unity. Wholeness.